the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Mame mo akwa abasronko ensamfa womra Nsem-Pii TV so na delegate conference ya MPP ma yekunu de aseso no eguso a ekoso na efa womo aduru no eye various constitutional amendment ena womo atimu asase a enya asabketwa various articles a ewo MPP ama yekunu constitution ena meno kasai delegate no atimu amende na meno kasai efri na ekobia no ebetimu ayadwuma na honsem nyina na audio wo nyina no Nsem-Pii TV yatimu atwe egu ahomaso a yedoko na watimi akakotie bebia MPP ama yekunu atimu ayensakyereye ewo mo constitution no abusia enko bebia kan ye ho na yenkwe na wankasa akokotie bebia MPP ama yekunu aye amendment bebia omanye na wokọ na obi ka wososo watimi akabi kan ho na Nsem-Pii TV yemfa de ekoso wo nyina mesomo ne ba Nsem-Pii TV ensem ahodo egopun so bia no yebesan e de aka atiefo ho.
Have your attention. At this particular point in time, I would start the exercise in earnest. Motion number 1. To amend Article 1 of the Constitution to include the party's motto, symbol, and colors. Justification. The absence of the party's motto, symbol, and colors in the Constitution is an obvious omission and ought to be rectified. The party's motto, symbol, and colors must find expression in the party's Constitution. Fellow delegates, those in favor of motion number 1, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 2, Article 3(7). Amend Article 3(7) of the Constitution to give the power to recommend suspension of a member or an office holder pending disciplinary action against him to the appropriate disciplinary committee rather than the executive committee. Justification. The amendment is necessary to ensure justified suspension of party executives, either elected or appointed by executive committees, only upon recommendation by the disciplinary committee, pending disciplinary proceedings against such officers. It is the disciplinary committee that shall recommend suspension, having regard to its preliminary findings. Having heard the motion loudly and the justification, distinguished delegates, those in favor of motion number 2, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 3, amend Article 437. Amend Article 437 of the Constitution to allow for a complaint against any constituency or regional officer, whether elected or appointed, to be filed at 1 in the case of the constituency officer, the regional executive committee, and 2 in the case of the regional officer, the national executive committee. Justification. The amendment seeks to achieve fair and equal treatment or handling of disciplinary matters involving elected officers and appointed officers who are at the same level of the party, by providing that they should be dealt with by the same disciplinary committee. Having heard motion number 3, distinguished delegates, those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Motion number 4. Amend Article 5(6). Amend Article 5(6) of the Constitution to adopt the Electoral Commission of Ghana's demarcation and cluster of electoral areas.
Chairman, the justification is as follows. The EC's electoral area systems are predetermined, bereft of controversies, and involve more polling stations than the party's demarcations of electoral area. The current provision in the party's constitution is that where polling stations under an electoral area exceed 10, an additional electoral area may be created. This lack of certainty and exactitude has triggered misunderstandings in the creation of some electoral areas. The adoption of the EC's electoral area system cures any such misunderstanding or perceived mischief.
Motion number 4. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 5. Article 6. I must say at this stage that this is a new provision. Amend Article 6 of the Constitution to provide for an electoral area executive committee structure made up of 5 members who shall all be elected, comprising the electoral area chairperson, secretary, organizer, communications officer, and electoral affairs officer.
The justification is as follows, Chairman. The current system requires limited expansion to allow for increased participation and support in the management of the electoral areas. A 5-member committee enhances operational capacity and ensures a more inclusive and structured approach to supervising polling station activities.
Distinguished delegates, those in favor of motion number 5, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 6, amend Article 6(1) of the Constitution to increase the polling station executives from 5 to 7, who are all to be elected, comprising the chairperson, secretary, organizer, women's organizer, youth organizer, communications officer, and electoral affairs officer.
Chairman of Conference, this committee respectfully recommends the one-man, one-vote system as a long-term electoral framework for the party. In the absence of the foundational structures for the one-man, one-vote electoral system, the proposed limited expansion, which, if approved, will represent a 40% increase in the electoral college at the polling station level, is more realistic and manageable. It has the effect of increasing the electoral college considerably while the party works on the recommended one-man, one-vote system respectfully submitted.
I now put the vote. Those in favor of motion number 6, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 7. Amend Articles 6(1), 7(2), 9(1), and 10(7)(3) of the Constitution to split or decouple the position of research and electoral affairs officer at the constituency, regional, and national levels of the party.
Chairman, the amendment brings the needed focus and attention to each of the two responsibilities. Also, it is not every researcher who understands electoral matters and vice versa. Therefore, the recommendation is that separating the positions and appointing people with the requisite expertise to occupy the respective positions will inure to the party's benefit.
Those in favor, delegates, motion number 7, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes obviously have it. Motion number 8, amend Article 7(2) of the Constitution to include the Constituency Research Officer, Electoral Affairs Officer, PWD, that persons with disability coordinator on the Constituency Executive Committee.
Justification. This represents a limited expansion of the Constituency Executive Committee and seeks to promote inclusivity and broader participation in party activities at the constituency level.
Delegates, those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 9, amend Articles 7(5), 9(2), and 10(7)(3) of the Constitution to make communication officers at all levels of the party elected from the polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional, and at the national level. At the national level, the communication officer shall be designated the Director of Communications.
Mr. Chairman, the appointment of communication officers has, in many instances, been fraught with a lot of challenges occasioned by perceptions of favoritism and lack of candor. Making the positions elective will afford the party delegate opportunity to select persons that they think can best communicate for the party. For the avoidance of doubt, the deputy directors of communications shall remain appointed. Respectfully submitted, Chairman.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 10, amend Articles 7(10) and 9(7) of the Constitution to prevent party officers who get appointed into government from continuing to hold their offices.
Justification. Party officers who are appointed into government should not be allowed to hold dual positions. So long as they have accepted the appointment to serve in government, it is recommended that they focus on their mandate in government and give opportunity for other equally competent party members to occupy their positions in the party. It is also in line with the provisions in Clause 10 of Article 7 and Clause 7 of Article 9, which are intended to ensure that government appointees do not hold constituency, regional, and national executive offices. Chairman, respectfully submitted.
Delegates, those in favor of motion number 10, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 11. Amend Articles 726 and 924 of the Constitution to provide that any vacancy that may occur for whatever reason in the case of the constituency secretary and regional secretary shall automatically be filled by the deputy constituency and deputy regional secretary.
Chairman, the recommendation is as follows. The deputy constituency and deputy regional secretaries, just like the substantive constituency and regional secretaries, are also elected by the same delegates at the same conference. The deputy secretaries should be able to occupy the positions of the substantive secretaries in the absence of the latter. Respectfully submitted.
Delegates, those in favor, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 12. Amend Article 727 of the Constitution to give voting rights to national and regional officers at the Constituency Delegates Conference at the constituency they hail from.
Chairman, the amendment strengthens the connections between these officers and the respective constituencies they hail from, where they may also serve as patrons and source of logistical support. This amendment is also geared towards the proposed limited expansion of the Electoral College pending the one-man, one-vote system.
Delegates in favor of motion number 12, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 13. Amend Article 727, 925, and 10.2 of the Constitution to provide that the party shall hold constituency, regional, and national delegates conferences every 2 years. That is biennially instead of annually.
Chairman, this amendment looks at holding timely but necessary conferences across all levels of the party. There shall also be sufficient time to hold other equally important conferences within the period before the biennial conference. Where it becomes necessary, an extraordinary delegates conference may be called. Respectfully submitted.
Delegates in favor of motion number 13, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 14. Amend Article 727B of the Constitution to give voting rights to the electoral area executives at the constituency biennial delegates conference.
Chairman, currently, electoral area coordinators and all polling station executives have voting rights at constituency delegate conferences. The proposed electoral area executives, made up of the electoral area coordinator, to be now called electoral area chairperson, and 4 other executives, should also have voting rights at the constituency delegates conference. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor of motion just ably recommended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 15. Amend Articles 729 and 927 of the Constitution to allow constituency and regional secretaries to present reports on the state of the party at the Constituency and Regional Delegates Conference with the prior approval of the Constituency and Regional Executive Committee, as the case may be.
Recommendation. Constituency and regional secretaries are the administrative heads of the constituency and regional secretariats of the party, and it is appropriate that they present a report on the state of the party to the constituency and regional party, respectively, to the delegates conference, with prior approval of the constituency and regional executive committee, as the case may be.
Those in favor of motion number 15, say aye. Those in favor, against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 16. Amend Articles 729 and 927 of the Constitution to require the statement of accounts to be presented by the constituency and regional treasurers at the constituency and regional delegates conference to have received prior approval of the constituency and regional executive committee, as the case may be.
This amendment allows the constituency and regional executive committees to scrutinize and give a stamp of approval to the statements before they are presented at the delegates conference. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor, delegates, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.